Hello again, everyone. Today we are watching the Black Derby Collective versus Riptide Roller Derby from the WFTDA South Region Gold Medal game. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bout Review. I'm your host, Tofer Griffin. All right, let's talk a little bit about these teams. This is Black Derby Collective, who is a pickup team of black skaters from all around the country, against Riptide Roller Derby, who I understand is a team of people from the South, from the Florida area, who have all skated together. Although I do see S.H. Long, the last time that I saw Susie skate, that was, I don't know, probably pre-pandemic, and she skated for Denver. I don't know where she's living these days. Probably still in Denver. So people from all over the place. A little bit of controversy surrounding team pickup teams being the top two teams and playing for the gold. I don't really have a problem with it personally, but that's what we have going on today. Got a little stalemate here. Poison Violet in the back, Brickyard in the front. Fancy already went to the box for a penalty, has come back out. Brickyard's going to find some space in the front. And on to the next. There's a pass to someone from the top from Black Derby Collective. Quick jam. Not a lot happened. A little stalemate. All right, we have jam number 2 here. Riptide with just a quick 3-0 there. And on the second jam, I'ma Blow By Ya is in the box here. Got a direction to play. And so they're down 1. Riptide's got the front. And Black Derby Collective's satisfied to be back here. They have a offense inside their wall. Special shout out to my homie Showtime. Showtime skates for the team that I coach, Concussion Roller Derby, on the MRDA side, and also skates with Black Derby Collective. Very good. A lot of veteran skaters here in Black Derby Collective. Black's Rose, Blackjack. Been skating for a long time, and Diva's on the line. Maldita getting right up the inside line, getting lead immediately. On the transition, good offense from Blackjack there. Unfortunately, Diva gets recycled on the inside line. BDC a little bit scattered on the first pass, but they do get back together here, get the tripod, lock it down in the front. And now it's just a battle of attrition between the jammer in the back, the jammer in the front. Riptide got the bridge. I'ma Blow By Ya coming out of the box here. Playing some good offense, getting the brace all the way out. Fortunately, Diva getting recycled again. Maldita being patient up at the front. Showtime, and I think that's Blaxel up there doing some good work. Killing time, stretching it out as far as possible. Maldita is getting out there. They let him go. And now it's time for the transition offense. You can see how far we're stretched out here. Of course, that's going to happen. They were playing defense for a long time. And they really did milk a lot of time off the clock here. But you can see getting back to play offense, they don't have a whole lot of time here. Maldita's already coming back into the pack. That's kind of the price you pay for stretching out the defense like that. You don't get the transition as strong as you would like. Plugging all the holes, though. And it looks like nice pass there to Blaxel. Pretty good pivot. I'd probably call it off, too. 8 points there for Riptide. Pretty good second jam. BDC starting off at the box. 1 in the box again, unfortunately. But this time, they have the front. Riptide, another time playing this offense inside the tripod. Effective way to play offense. Trying to break them up from the center out. Jamstrella, very talented veteran jammer here. Finds space on the outside line. Anyway. Trouble with the hat off. Pushing out. BDC electing here to get back to defense early. Did play a little bit of transitional offense. Riptide releasing to play offense. Trouble stuck on that tripod in the front. Jam Strella getting recycled briefly, but getting back in. Really nice move on the outside there from Trouble. Gets the call off. Slow start for BDC so far. Riptide coming up from the top. They have the offense set up on the outside, but this time everybody's on the track for Black Derby Collective. Blackjack holding the outside there. We got Iggy on the track this time. 4 different jammers on both sides for both teams. Deep jammer rotation, that's what you like to see. Both jammers get out. Looks like interesting call off here. I think even if you're in back here, unless you have a reason to need to call it off, I would give it a second to see how the pack develops, because you might end up getting a big advantage in the back where you can, steal a couple points. You're probably going to not win that jam anyway, but it might be worth giving it a few more seconds to see what options you have when you're coming around on your scoring pass. Got the scrum in the back again. Kind of hard to see who has the advantage in here. Hard to see who is where. And we have yet another jammer for BDC. Back to Brickyard, so it looks like BDC has a 5 jammer rotation and Riptide has a 4 jammer rotation. At least that's the way they're starting off. Advantages to having both. If you have the talent to play all 5, then you can. Archangel recycled to the inside. They're going to take off their cap, but they don't need it. Riptide left the inside open there. Really good separation here from Riptide on the offensive pass. Brickyard going to make good work of that. They did get all 4 in the end. So going into Jam 6, it's 19-0. 1 lead jammer so far for Black Derby Collective. Riptide starting off strong. They got the outside line here defensively. Really good suck back there. Can't see the number. Can't see who that is, but really good suck back. You can see Maldita this time. I mean, we're almost 10 feet behind the jammer line. So really good defensive start here from Black Derby Collective. As jammers, we really need to pressure up the track in the beginning. Every step back here, losing ground. In this situation, Poison Violet really hasn't had to move forward at all and still had some separation. Does get knocked out there. Did fight to stay in. Gets recycled. Riptide gets back into the tripod. Now we have a stalemate here. Riptide has 1 down, but they do have control of the back. Poison doing a good job of breaking down this tripod on their own. Looks like they got a forearm. First jammer penalty of the game. Maldita's out. Good recycle. Blackjack getting goaded, but setting up a good funnel here. Holding down. This is what you like to see. Hold down one part of the track and try to get the jammer funneled to your defense. That's really good. Really good recovery from Black Derby Collective getting back together here. Offense there in the center. Good recycle around. Riptide electing to play pretty passive here in this power jam. They went back to defense very early to get a hold of Poison Violet. Showtime going to drop back and play offense here. Good communication. You like to see that. You don't need all 4 people up there playing defense. Helping out Violet a little bit. Now, Black Derby Collective has control of the back. Violet out on the top. Two out for Riptide. Somebody came back in at the end. But overall, another win. Riptide taking control early in this game, 23-0. They have a disadvantage here, but they do get the top. BDC content to have the back, even with the advantage. Another good job just capturing the jammer on the jammer line, making them work. Meanwhile, Diva does work on the top here. Best jam start so far for BDC. Really good pressure. Really good job from Diamond there. Being a nuisance in the center. James Farella does get out very fast out of the pack. BDC wanting to slow down the pack here. Murda started playing offense early. That's good. You have to assume Diva's going to beat this blocker. Jammers should beat this blocker in one-on-one, so these are the people that you need to play offense for. I'd like to see the pack back here just focused on scoring points and protecting points rather than setting up for defense. Other than that, it's good to get on the board. Her Majesty still in the box for multiplayer. I don't know if they went back out for multiplayer. Just came in, so probably just didn't get out in that. We have Zora back out here, troublemaker for BDC. Good little recycle there. A little bit far out. Never going to get back to the pack here to play offense, probably. Another penalty for Riptide. Now BDC's on a scoring pass with the opposing jammer still in. Really good offense there from Showtime. Showtime releasing here from the defense to go play offense early. That's what you want to see. Little bump. Then you're in the way. And then once the jammer passes, she comes back. You have to believe in your jammer in that 2-on-1 situation there. Dizzy Izzy actually getting an out-of-play penalty for continuing to block. Probably failed to reform all the way in the front there. So now it's 2v1 in the back. Showtime going to play a little more O. Good timing there. I think, if you're this last jammer, you can fight for this point if you want this last point, but I'm going to make sure to call it to ensure that the 2 blockers who are in the box stay in the box. You don't want to spend so much time fighting here that you actually end up getting them out of the box. Okay, we have 2 in the box starting off for Riptide. Looks like Her Majesty's already standing. Going to play a little Jammer D back here. This is interesting jam start. I mean, it makes sense you want to play Jammer D. It does allow Black Derby Collective to just get back there early. I mean, ideally, you want to play Jammer D here. I mean, you really just, it's going to be hard to stop a jammer one-on-one if you're a jammer blocker. It's better to kind of use the opposing defense to set up your defenders because, now you're caught all the way back here behind the line. Your jammer's got a 2-on-1 on the front. Diamond's playing offense. Another recycle. I like the early offense here from Diamond. Ooh. Nice move from Iggy on the outside. I tend to teach people to not turn their hips all the way around on scoring passes when you're moving like this because while this does get all the points here, you have to turn all the way back around before you can move up the track unless you can accelerate fast backwards. In this case, Iggy gets all the way past, so it doesn't really matter, but if you do take a hit here, you're out of bounds and recycled. So you just got to be careful doing that. It does work there. Lots of pressure up the track here. Riptide kind of moving the pack forward unnecessarily. Brickyard's here in the pack. And the offense moving the whole pack up. Now, I think Dizzy took the pass and, having to do a lot of work just to move the pack up. One to beat here. Diamond's very good in these situations. Diamond's an incredible one-on-one blocker. I actually skated against her 2 years ago at the MRDA champs skating for Race City. Very, very low. Diamond gets the forearm on that exit hit. BDC going to call it off. Getting back into the game now. We have a 3-on-3 pack here. Riptide in the front again. Black Derby Collective, they love the suck back in the back. It works for them. They're really getting a hold of the Riptide jammers back here. When Riptide's not able to set up inside of their tripod, we got the no pack. No pack's going to benefit the team in the back. Blackjack coming up and reforming the pack quickly. Recycling up, playing defense. Archangel getting the hat back on. Smart to just come around and pick it up on the next one. Diamond out of the box now. Aldita still, now out. Scoring pass here. Good transitional scoring. Opposing jammers out. Every round BDC finds someone to play offense on. Really good effort there from Riptide fighting through the offense. It was 23-0 at Jam 6. And in the 5 jams since then, now Black Derby Collective has scored 24 unanswered points. And it's basically a tie game. Riptide calling a timeout there. 24 unanswered points for Black Derby Collective. Probably wanted to get the momentum back. Regain control. Not sure what happened here on the jam start. Everybody's content to play very slow. Quite the scrum to start off. Diamond up there playing offense, getting involved. Violet getting recycled. Riptide really good at getting their jammers, getting the opposing jammer out of bounds in this game. BDC moves to a 4-wall in the front. Little offense up there. For Riptide, really hard to play offense in the front against a 4-wall. The pack will always be up there with you. Riptide getting a penalty. Violet finding a really nice path on the outside. Hard to get out here on the outside. Doesn't get picked up at all there. Maybe they just lost track of her. Coming back in. Riptide not really getting anything done from this scoring pass. Little offense there. James Sorella trying to pick up some jammer D. Getting knocked out. Getting recycled. BDC playing with a 4 defense in the back. Looks like Ima's going to bridge here. They decide to call it. I'm not sure why. Maybe They just want to. It's possible they just want to ice Schlong in the box here. So they get the 3. Start off with an advantage. Really good offense here from Blackjack off the start. Just really not letting Riptide get set up. Just, you have all this space here from BDC to work with at the front. And Blackjack is going to bump up. Izzy in the one-on-one. Blackjack just really doing some work there. Diva finding a good path on the inside. Zor getting recycled on the scoring pass. On the offensive transition, and Blackjack went to that box on a forearm for that big hit. So now BDC's without offense. Diva being really patient here. Really sneaky offense from Showtime on the transition. Really good vision from Diva. From the offense coming from behind, sometimes you don't see it, so maybe Showtime communicated well. Riptide doing a really good job of getting out in front, taking control of the scoring pass. Not really giving BDC any scoring opportunity there. 4 points on the first scoring pass, 0 on the second scoring pass. Brickyard back out there. Troublemaker for BDC. Brickyard finding something on the inside, does get knocked out, is able to get back up. Little recycle mishap there. Gets Brickyard out. Brickyard doing good movement in the front. Hard to see from here, but really good job just working back and forth, pressuring up the track, finding a little something on the outside, accelerating quickly. A fast pack on a scoring pass here. That's going to benefit the jammer in general, but Diamond is the one in front. Riptide happy to not call it here. I think they see the advantage against jamming against a pivot. Unfortunately, Riptide going to the box, sending 2 to the box. Diamond gets out. Diamond's a pretty decent pivot turn jammer. Not one you want to run it on, probably. Riptide just not able to get back to the inside line there. Riptide's still up right now. They have 2 in the box. 1 for BDC. You're going to run it here. You're basically tied this jam. You have control. You want to end on a good note. Brickyard making a good move on the inside. Really good movement towards the out. Using height to advantage. Sometimes when you're going against a tall blocker like Murda, they'll lose you behind them. Everybody going to the box. Only 1 left for Riptide. They're trying to clear the box. Everyone's going to the box, but as long as they have lead, they can keep running it. They do call it this time. Looks like they got a couple people out. Pretty chaotic jam overall, 16 to 11. So even through all those penalties, maintaining control, running along, trusting in your defense, trusting in your jammer. Wins the jam overall. Jam starting 3-3. Again, BDC just picking up the jammer right at the jammer line. Not giving him a lot to work with off the start. Iggy unable to get any penetration up the track, getting sucked back pretty far back up the track themselves. Maldita going to the box on a forearm. Good separation here from BDC. Really good recycling, recovery from Riptide. Good coordinated offense there from BDC, all going up at once after the stalemate. Iggy not able to take advantage of it. Good tripod in the back. Really good pickup here from Black Soul. Just stepping into the hole. A lot of these heavy defensive jams in this game. Really good defense on both sides. Iggy looking a little tired here. Taking out the star. Not a very good entry into the pack here from Maldita. I mean, you want to turn it up here. This is where you have something on the track. And, turning your hips all the way around on the line when you have multiple people, you're going to get recycled here every time. There's a very slim chance you'll slip through and pop out the other side. You generally want to keep your hips forward, drive forward on scoring passes, and maintain your speed. Good job pushing through. When you're in the back and when you're pushing a defense up to where your players are, there's going to be an offensive opportunity there. Rat's picking up the opportunity. And the jam gets called off here. I guess that's the natural conclusion. Everyone's holding. Saying, no more penalties. Let's just wait for it to end. There was an official timeout. I'm not sure what for. Archangel versus James Torella here. Really good up the track movement here from Archangel to get it started right away. And then back to the center. Really heavy offense from Murda here. Releases from defense. Gets the blocker all the way out of bounds. Goes out of bounds themselves, but that's okay. Archangel getting driven out. One hand out. I think stays in. Really good vision from Murda. I don't know how they managed to see James Sorella release here. Playing offense. Just out of a split second, just switches to defense. That's incredible. Really good track awareness. That's what you got to do when you're playing Primario. You got to be ready to pick up. Did get the direction of play there. Archangel end up getting out of the pack on the transition. Does get the jam called off. I thought James Torella had points there, but I guess not. Really tight pack in the back. BDC just, they're happy to live through this scrum situation, even when they're down. And they believe in their defense. There's a blackjack, showtime, queen loser Tifa wall. Definitely not a tripod any jammer wants to be a part of. And, in this back wall start, they just lock it down. Violet eventually just finding a little bit of space, taking advantage of it. Being patient. Getting out. So we're finding the inside line. Really good offense here again by Murda. Really good timing. Just understanding of, they're not even really looking back, but just really good track awareness and understanding of timing when the jammer's coming back in, getting up there. You're taking out Izzy, who is going to be the stronger blocker in space, just the ability to cover track. Really heads up play there. Going from being a down pack to winning the jam. Brickyard back out there. Finds the space right up the center. Yeah. Wide set here. I think, I think this is diamond. I can't see the number, but I think probably a little bit concerned about getting beat on the outside line, which you don't really need to worry about that if the opposing jammer's on the inside and your jammer's outside of them. Probably should play the center more and let their jammer contain in towards the inside. That really wide stance, Brickyard, really good job of just exploding through that, accelerating up the track very fast. BDC gets the track moving here, gets the pack moving. Everybody moves up. When you're going to play offense in this situation, on this transition, you got to keep the pack slow. So once you start playing offense here, you need to get a hold of Lemon, get a hold of somebody, slow this pack down, separate them so that when your jammer gets up to the top, now we're all up here. Jammer hasn't really made progress. Wow. Really good positioning from Buttercup. I mean, this is one of the things, like, we just got to let go of this brace, of this connection here. We all got to get over here to the inside. If you force the jammer out here, you have a little bit of help out there. You have a long path you can recycle, but this is just too much space. Nice move from Diva there on the inside, a little pirouette. Hard to see the camera transition here. Inside foot, good pressure. 180-degree pivot on the inside foot. Really good. Really tough skill to pull off in that situation. Seven for that one in Riptide. Going in towards the second half here. Interesting enough here. Riptide goes to field blockers realize they're down one. They call a timeout so they can get a full blocker lineup on the track. This game is really close. You only get 3 timeouts for the whole game, so you wonder if this is going to affect you down the stretch when you need to worry about your time control. But for now, they have the lead. Another good suck back from BDC here. Riptide trying to set up some offense on the inside. BDC just content to play 4D here, and if you're the Riptide offense and you go back, now the pack is here. So this is a smart play from BDC to just keep the pack in the back, and now we're looking at, this is getting close to 20. They're going to have to let him go here in a second. This is really unfortunate for trouble here. The only thing that Riptide can do in this situation is get the jammer out of bounds and recycle. They could drop a bridge here. They probably should. But you can see the brace over here, their positioning, instead of being off the top, they're off the side. That's a sign that the pressure is coming towards the outside. You can see Bratz here. Bratz is on top right now because the pressure is going up the track like this. Izzy flips over and is going to allow a little bit of movement towards the outside, and then there's pressure from the inside but towards the out here. And then you see Stephanie move over, change her positioning so that the pressure is now being forced towards the outside of the track and get them out. So as jammers here in these situations, we have to understand our body position and know that right here, when we feel this flip, we have to immediately start pressing back towards the other side of the track because all the movement's going out towards the outside now, and you cannot get through here. Heartbreaking to almost be out and to get recycled like that. Good hustle back to get back in bounds here. Now you're working from the back. Trouble. Getting back up to the front. Blackjack playing a little offense. Not really making it happen there. Really smart offense from Blackjack. She very much understands the pack. Comes up. Separates here. Blocks Izzy from recycling right away. Lets the jammer engage these 2 blockers. And then, once Izzy makes the move, you see Blackjack come back. Probably could have come back a little bit more. Izzy's really fast, so she's gonna get out there and form the bridge. This is a long 10 feet here. Getting a couple penalties in the front. A little forearm there. This is really nice from Blackjack too. This is what you want to do when you're the primary and you've turned into the bridge. When they come back to play offense, you defend your pack. You generally don't want to hit them out of bounds. You want to keep them in front of you because they can just come in behind you. But good job defending nonetheless. And you see where Blackjack is. She just stays glued to these 2 blockers. Really, really nice offense here. The jammer should be able to beat the one blocker in the back. Blackjack is just holding a little space on the inside. Flips over to the brace. Little juke to the inside, and that's all you need. And then look at this transition. Everybody, it's all high level. Everybody is reacting so quickly because here you have Dizzy. Jammer gets out, immediately goes back for the pass. Maldita's looking. Izzy takes the pass. Blackjack then also sees the passes coming. Makes this hit all the way out of bounds. Gets the run back. Really, really high level from Blackjack there. Blackjack content to run back by herself. You got the tripod in front of you, so you're probably good there. And then switching to offense. Just doing all the work. I mean, not all the work. This tripod's doing a great job here, but just maximizing effort, always doing something, never being idle. Even this movement back here, just trying to reduce the space for the jammer in the front. Getting a direction of play here, I think. Yeah. Not sure why. Really strong jam from Black Derby Collective there. And now they take the lead again, 54-50. It's going to do this the whole game, back and forth. Really, really close game from start to finish. Now here we have a 3-2 pack. Riptide taking the back here. They're going to play some Jammer D. They're going to eat up some clock and try to get their blockers out of the box. I think Schlong here maybe gets an illegal procedure, or has to yield, I should say, at the beginning. Not able to block right off the start. Iggy getting up the track. James Sorella following through, though. Diamond, I think, is just a little bit off balance on the outside. BDC making sure they control the top of the pack. They're controlling the scoring pass, getting out there, protecting their points. Riptide being patient here, waiting for the... They know they've lost the moment before this, and now they're waiting for their jammer to hit so that they can play. They go immediately. Good timing here. Unfortunately, I mean, this is just a really good play from Diamond here, picking up Jam Sorella. And then all the way from the inside, all the way to the outside, tracking and flicking out to the outside. And in that time, Iggy's coming around all the way over. 0 points. It seems like to me, Iggy's here. Don't know if Iggy's going to get the points before the call off. Really, really good scoring pass from BDC there. And as we talked about, in the last game, those moments of turning that scoring pass from what could easily have been 4-0 for Riptide and flipping it, that's a 6-point swing. I mean, we're going to see at the end of the game what the point differential is, and you think maybe that combination effort there from Diamond and the rest of the blockers that got control, protected their points, they did the right thing, caused the late call off. All of that stuff could be the difference between them winning or losing this game. Riptide got a really good track position here, got control of the outside. I would like to see Izzy play a little bit of offense on the brace to start. Showtime, really good suck back right off the start. I mean, Showtime kind of saves this jam on the outside because the offense is here. But Zora kind of telegraphs where she wants to go here. You need to engage this wall a little bit to give this offense an opportunity. If you don't threaten this wall at all as a jammer, they can suck back against you, and then your offense isn't there anymore. And now they have position in the back. Secondary offense does come. Showtime shrugs it off, able to pick up Zora anyway. Doesn't quite get the drive out here, unfortunately. Does immediately switch to offense, which you love to see. Can't spend too much time thinking about... I mean, she should have had that hit for sure. Can't spend too much time thinking about it, though. Just got to go on to the next thing. There we go. Nice. Hard to even see who's in here. It's so scrummy in the back. This time you see Brickyard immediately engaging, and you saw Brickyard the last time she was out here getting through the pack immediately. The difference between jammers here, one jammer's waiting, one jammer's going. I'm a firm believer in you should be engaging immediately as a jammer most of the time in jam starts, especially in the scrum. You want to establish your position. You have the most ability to make something happen here in the scrum if you're pushing up through this. You don't want to wait around here. The defense is benefited by you waiting here. You got to pressure through here. With pressure and people in different positions, you're gonna press through like loose teeth. Brickyard finds the gap, gets out immediately. Nothing really wrong from the BDC setup there, just good effort in the jam start. Poison Violet's stuck in the back now. Not where you want to be. Riptide setting a blocker to the box. Good pass here. Pretty sneaky. I didn't really even see it. Taking the pass and being in front of the last blocker for the most part. And I think Schlong gets a little piece of diamond. She takes the pass. Probably should just let go of Lemon here and try to make that hit.
But if you want me to get the numbers right, please put your numbers on your website.
Really good recycle.
Pronouns would be even better.
008.
That way I can make sure to get it right.
I don't have the... Well, must be Intoxicate, I imagine. Another back wall scrum here. This time, you see the difference between Brickyard and Maldita here. Just off the whistle, just not as much. You gotta push. You gotta work. The first 10 seconds of jamming, you should be working. You should be pretty much 100% right away. Make it happen. So, Diva gets a little bit of an advantage here. Once again, Blackjack able to, playing offense just on Izzy here, separating Izzy from the rest of the pack. Somehow seeing the jammer release, getting the hit out. Should be a cut here. Yeah. So I know they're calling for a no pass, no penalty, but you'll see when Izzy and I'm not sure who that is there. I think it's Bratz. They both have position. Probably 3 people have position. So even though you can't cut Blackjack here, you can still cut your own blockers. So you got to be careful about that. I think this is only the second power jam of the game. Not a lot of blocker or jammer penalties so far. A lot of blocker penalties, but unfortunately, Diva getting recycled. Riptide killing a lot of time here on this power jam. Yeah, you gotta be patient here as jammers and set this up. You have your offense. You just want to press. I know you're reaching for Queen. Just drive up to Queen. We've lost about half of our power jam here. Really good move on the re-entry, though. Got to be careful. If you're this blocker here, there's no reason to be on the inside line if you're recycling somebody up the outside. You should be recycling with them up the outside. The jammer now has an advantage. They can get back to this wall. And you see, these eyes are looking up the track. Diva just making really good movements out of a bad situation. And I think if Bratz just goes up the outside there, feeds her defense, the jammer, I think they probably would have contained for a little bit longer at least. They have the goat in the back. Let's see if they release to play offense here. They do. They send 2 up. All right, let's take a look at the penalties here. Forearm, out of play, out of play, out of play. Not too much from BDC overall. 10, pretty good for the first half. Looks like only one. No jammer penalties. Oh, no. Troublemaker did get this. Riptide, twice as many penalties. Quite a bit. Here getting 4 in the first half. 3 of them, I think, back to back to back. Spread out amongst everybody, really. None there for Jamsterella. None for Brickyard. None for Zora. So their jammers staying clean. Everybody else got a little something. All right, starting off, BDC is starting off with the power jam here. Maldita's standing. So got a couple people waiting to play defense. That's Blaxel and Queen. So they're playing offense only for a short amount of time, and then they're going to set up the defense here. I think probably could have played offense for longer here. When you have 2, you really need to play 2 offense. I think this is a little bit of a wasted opportunity. It's hard with teams that aren't able to practice together to have good jam start strategies for power jams and things like that. Still start off with an advantage. Showtime asking for a bump up. She wants to play offense. Got to be careful here. Unfortunately, Showtime's looking back, but right at the moment she moves forward to play offense, Maldita's going to find the inside line. Queen just a little bit out of position there on the inside, unfortunately. Riptide swarming on Poison Violet. And, Riptide starting off with this powerless jam. Killed the powerless jam, 30 seconds. Got their jammer out, and now they're winning. Poison playing some really good defense as a jammer here. Queen Knight with a nice little assist there. Good position. Poison Showtime tracking all the way to the outside. Somebody picked up a cut back there. Looks like it was perfect. Queen getting a little piece. Poison finishing it off. Showtime trying to get back. Can't quite get the recycle. That's okay. We'll set up here. Poison getting something for direction of play. When you're a jammer blocking, things like that happen. Riptide call it off here. I'm not sure why they would call it off here. I mean, maybe Maldita's just had enough. Yeah, I know you're tired. Yeah, I know you're tired in the situation, but you just can't call it off when you have lead. The opposing team has a pivot jamming, and they have 2 in the box. I mean, you can make an argument that maybe you want to start off the next jam being up, but you're scoring points right now. You have this offense up here with you. It's 2-on-2. No matter what, you got to dig deep and score points there. I don't know. I mean, the bench might be asking for the call off or whatever, but I just don't think that's the appropriate call in this situation. Now, I say that, but they're going to put Brickyard back out here in a 4v2 situation. And I think for the first time in this game, Riptide's got the back line and BDC's on top. Wow. This is a reversal of fortunes, unfortunately. This is another missed opportunity here from Riptide. You know, you got to give credit to Diva here for, you know, just boxing out Brickyard and not really giving her an opportunity right off the jam start. I think, you know, if Brick kind of gives up track positioning here, you don't want to take yourself all the way to the inside line like this, especially if you have an advantage. You want to force the issue on this in the center of the track, because now you've given up all your space, and Diva has this opportunity to play Jammer D. This is a perfect positioning. This is really heads up play from Diva, just getting the little bump. You know, now Brickyard has to come in around. And now Brickyard, at this point, you know, 3 seconds in, okay, we're going to release here. You have your offense on the inside. You have two people here. You know, you want to come up towards the out and then juke towards the in when you have this situation. A little bit off balance, I think. But you got to take this to the inside. And somehow, at the back of the pack, Riptide just not getting back together, closing off the inside line, and they give up the inside. So 11 seconds in, if you're down 2, you got to feel pretty good about getting lead here, even if you don't score any points. Brickyard's probably going to close the gap. And, you know, this is a lose-lose situation for Riptide, because if they speed the pack up, they're killing time and getting people out of the box. But if they slow it down, they're giving BDC a scoring opportunity. But realistically here, you have to have faith in your defense to shut down and keep these points low. You don't want to kill time here. You want to start this next jam with people in the box. We'll see who gets the points here. We got 4. I was worried here that BDC would not call it off early. I can't hear the whistles, so it's hard to see when it's coming. But, I mean, if Brickyard gets 1 here, she gets 4. So that's very, very close. It is a 3-0 jam. BDC gets 1 out of the box. It's 60-61. It's very close. You have trouble on the line. I don't really like this pack positioning up here for BDC. I understand they want to start in the front, but you got to come back here. You can't allow yourself to start so far, because, I mean, your jammer has to immediately push 20 feet just to even have a chance to get out. Really smart here, not playing offense and being disciplined to stay back and just bridge. That's what you want to do. Just wait here. Let your jammer do the work against 2, because you have your defense back here. You stop here. You know, you have the 10-foot bridge. You don't want to move up at all. Just wait. There's no pack. Take that 1 step forward. Get the pack back together. Really smart jam start on Riptide's part. BDC able to catch, lock down a little bit. We got Poison out there as a blocker. Went to the box as a blocker. Now part of the tripod. Doing a decent job. Diamond going right back to the box. Trouble did get out, though. 4 points for Riptide in that. Takes the lead back. It's a 3-3 pack. Now Riptide's taking the back. BDC's on the top. BDC, I think, has a slight... Well, it's hard to say who has the better position here. But, after 5 seconds, Iggy is very much in the back. Zor's very much in the front. Riptide getting their blocker out first. They're going to get the offense first. I think we could be a little bit more patient here with this offense. When you're coming in, I know you're feeling urgency, but I don't even know if your jammer knows you're here yet. And, I would have communicated a little bit more that I was coming, but, obviously this was very effective anyway. Just wedging between the two blockers in the back, threading up to the next blocker, pushing up, and threading again. So very effective offense anyway, despite being a little bit rushed. Whoa. I'm not even sure what happens here. I'm not sure how Iggy stays in bounds here. Okay. Holding on to I'm a Blabaya there. At the sacrifice of your own blocker, that's what you got to do sometimes. I mean, going to get knocked out. Could maybe get a multiplayer here, but I think it happens after the hit. Keeps the toes in bounds. Look at that back foot. His back foot. Ooh, it's about to go out. Oh, no. Really good awareness there from Iggy. Whipping herself back into the pack and then back up track. Cool. That's really cool. Zora kind of taking a straight line in. Hard to see where she comes from. I mean, 10 feet out. She's moving in a parallel line up the outside. It's just not the way you want to enter the pack. You can't enter the pack in a straight line. Generally, if you want to take the out here, you can, but take the out like that. You have the offense here. It's just timing if you move into the pack in a straight line. The defense just has to time their hit. Good catch there. Now they got the tripod. Iggy still stuck at the top. I'm switching in and out of offense. That's what you kind of got to do, play offense. I would probably maintain that offense for a little bit longer. In this situation, there's no other Riptide blocker back here playing offense, so you can continue to play offense the whole time. You're never going to split the pack. And, you want to... Ouch. A little trouble coordinating there. Looks like Ima gets a penalty of some kind. Direction of play. Really easy to get a direction of play playing offense if your jammer improves their position in the pack. Iggy taking off the star. Zora on the way back. Hard to see this apex jump. You want to be too deep on blockers on the apex. The jammer should win this. Looks like Zora does step out on the way up. Can't really see on the landing foot. The foot landing does land in, I think, but on the way out, definitely steps out. And, oh, she is recycling. Okay. Iggy's still stuck. Not really able to quite break that barrier. BDC just needs to lock it down and cut the bleeding here. Nice move on the inside. See, on the when you're at the last blocker, you can flip your hips around like this, because once you're by, you're by. That's going to be the end of the jam. Hard to see what's going on here in the start. I think Riptide's got a blocker in the BDC wall playing offense there. They have 3 on top. Oh, no, it's on the looks like on the inside. Brickyard really doing some work here, trying to get this pack going. Diva right there with her. They're both moving up. The pack's all moving up together. Riptide gets the hit out. Brickyard recovering first. Stephanie playing a little moment of offense. Now, these little moments as blockers when you're switching from one thing to another and you can just pick up a blocker there for a second. Like, those little moments really matter in the grand scheme of things. And trying to be active the entire time you're on the track. Really nice pass here. I like that Blackjack puts her, again, taking the star from like quite the distance away and trying to keep her hips. If you're taking a star, you want your hips to be slightly in front of the person that you're taking the star in front of so that they have less chance of picking you up. After that, big hit from the inside out. Hard to see what happens here with Blackjack staying in bounds, but does stay in. Hauls ass out of the pack. Kind of overloaded on the inside line, BDC here. Izzy just posting up. Stephanie posting up on the outside. Again, it's these transition moments and knowing what to do next. And just immediately switching and catching people out of position. Riptide up by 13. Pretty big lead for this game. Archangel pushing up on the outside. Hard to see what happened to Maldita on the inside. Everybody pushing. A lot of offense moving up to Maldita in the end. Gets pushed up the inside by a defender. And you got to be careful in this recycle. It's hard to know what to do in these moments when both jammers are going to break out. You have one jammer for Riptide up here, and if you're this last blocker on Archangel, you're probably not going to catch the jammer. You really have to prepare for the next moment. In the end, Maldita is able to get out, but has to do a lot more work because the pack is just moving up. Everyone's moving up. Ooh, Murder almost getting a cut there. Realizes it. They come back in. Unfortunate, I think no points here. Murder's got a little offense there from, I think that's Ima.
Archangel getting a back block.
Unfortunately,
here. Let's watch it back.
Riptide just gets back together. They just close the door, and there's a little tumble, and able to keep the score at 0. See, I don't really think this can be a back block because, this defensive blocker is moving into position. This lane is open, moves into position, and then takes the back block. So I don't think that should be a back block. I think this is a bad call. I mean, moves from all the way on the inside line, all the way to the center of the track. I mean, moves out of position that far. Really shouldn't be a back block, but what are you going to do? Okay, got the jam start here. Jam Strella out there for the power jam. See if Riptide's able to take advantage of it. So far, BDC making it ugly back there, holding down their space, plugging holes, do a little suck back. Jam Strella. Jam Strella's a speedy jammer. She does well when she has room to work and she can juke and she has space and she's fast. She struggles a little bit when the pack is tight like this. Riptide breaking off into defense, anticipating the jammer coming back in, maintaining some offense in the front, but it's 1-on-4 up there. It's going to be difficult. Archangel does have that very strong tripod in the back to contend with. I'd like to see a little offense played here from Riptide. You get the jammer out. You can send 2 people back, have 2 people play offense, at least, for a short time. I mean, you have all this time here with this run back. You have time to play offense. James Strella now still not out of the pack after a minute, getting recycled. BDC really locking it down in this jam and bringing it back. See, conversely here, BDC gets the recycle. Now they do have the front and they're moving through the pack, so you have a little bit easier of an opportunity, but taking this time to play offense. Actually, it's funny here because everybody's out of bounds. Showtime's out of bounds. Perfect's out of bounds. I feel like James Strella could just come back in right here. Maybe she probably got hit in the face there. Probably just not really, it's a minute in, you're having a hard time. Offense, not enough here for Archangel. Did jam in the last jam, but gets recycled herself. Or their self, I should say. And now we're back into the stalemate, so. Queen get a multiplayer block there. And it's just a slog on both sides. Stephanie going up, playing a little offense. This is what I want to see. Stephanie's bridging. She's like, this run back's long. I'm gonna go try to make something happen. Comes in, really nice hit. I think that's perfect. Knocks perfect all the way out of bounds. Comes back, gets back to D. Archangel, really nice move here. This is another time where Riptide does this long run back with one person, and they aren't able to catch the jammer. I just don't believe in giving the jammer all this run back. As a jammer, personally, and this is, this could just be my opinion, and I'm not saying that this is a fact or anything, but as a jammer, I love to see this person release because it gives me all of this run back. I have 30 feet of space to run and gain speed. What I would dislike more as a jammer is if this person sat here with me and they, just tracked me back to their blockers and slowed me down the whole time. But now Archangel has a little bit of speed here to do something with. Really nice juke on the out. Stephanie really not back into position quite 100% to be able to pick up the outside hit from the brace position. Jamstrella finally figuring it out on the inside. And, the Queen's in the box here. So really nice play from Jamstrella coming around. Getting a little jammer D. Making sure the jam ends with no points. A full 2-minute jam with 0 points that started off with a power jam. So pretty insane defense from BDC and Riptide there. Riptide's got the back. It's interesting how later in the game, they switch positions on the track. I know BDC's down here, so they are probably trying to maintain track position. Riptide getting that offense in the middle of the BDC tripod. And Black Derby Collective really doing a good job of just holding their position on the track, not really letting this offense get them too out of position. You know, Murda's fighting back against the offense. Eventually, Zora does get lead there, but did kill quite a bit of that penalty. Still a 13-point game. Diamond takes the pass. Really aggressive here on the jamming. Does get picked up by Riptide here. Now Riptide has a big advantage. They have an opportunity to score. But here it is. Here's Poison Violet again. I mean, one-on-one block at the top. Not a blocker. This is a jammer. Getting that hit out. Saving this jam here. Diamond releasing to the top. Oof. Really sad here. Probably tired. You know, you're a pivot. You're taking the star. You're like, I'm almost there. I mean, this is 20 feet here. We're basically out of play. And, you know, you just gotta move. When you get down to one blocker and there's movement, you want to move this way, you want to move that way, you want to move this way. You want to keep them moving. You don't really want to engage here, and you don't want to plant your feet. And, you know, Diamond does realize, like, oh, I need to fight to stay in bounds here. It is pushing back, but really nice hit out.
Little cut there. We'll send Diamond to the box.
Through. Whoop. Oh, so Riptide here, starting with a power jam. Uh-oh, my cat is here. My cat, hi, kitty. Hello. Say hi. Say hi to the folks. He's not happy that we're recording right now. Here he is. Say hi, Bran. Say hi. Oop. All right, shall we get back to it? Brickyard making quick work of this BDC pack. Really good job here from Riptide, just picking off blockers, sitting on them, preventing them from moving up the track, and then having Brickyard engage. Stephanie opening up the inside line. Brickyard getting into one-on-one, winning the battle on the inside line. And 15 seconds, scoring points. They're up by 17. Chance to really take over this game here. Showtime missing the hit on the outside here. Sometimes you're a little bit concerned with the offense here in the center. Trying to maintain the contact here with Queen. Really is just not able to close down the line. She knows it. Not happy about that, I'm sure. Stephanie now moving to the outside. Gonna set it up. Showtime getting in front this time. Forcing the jammer back to the center. There, that time, able to close it off. Really hard hit to make there. Does recycle Brickyard all the way back. Diamond out of the pack as a jammer. Not having a lot of luck against this very strong Riptide defense. Kind of just want to stop the bleeding here if you're BDC. Try to lock down Brickyard if you can. Try to keep her from scoring any more points. If Diamond gets an opportunity, she can pass it here. Really good effort between Brickyard and Izzy on the outside. BDC going to recycle back to play offense. Not too much offense there on the transition. Do get set up pretty good in the tripod. Really strong hit from Blaxel here. Probably should be a direction of play. See if they call it. No call there. Now Brickyard is getting recycled again. Showtime, we gotta keep our hips square here. We're turning our hips early and we're trying to track butt first towards the line. We need to open our hips and move towards the line with our hips open. Let go of these connections. This backside personally can propel you, but you don't want to hold on at the detriment of getting the hit out. Queen does clean up the hit here. Little help from Blaxel. Blaxel's pushing from the backside. Does clean it up. Blackjack taking the star, getting out. Diamond unfortunately picking up another one. Going to the box. Okay, Diamond in the box as a blocker this time. Diva back out there. Maldita gets recycled pretty much right away. So does Diva. Diva gets back in. Both teams recover. Maldita tries to force it on the inside. It's not there. As you can see in this situation. As soon as there's a hit out, Ima just starts playing offense. Now she's looking back. She's going to pick up the jammer here. It's another heads up play, playing offense. That's the primary. Then skating back, make sure your defense is good. Ima picking up the jammer. Two people in the front. That's Thumper and Buttercup. Pick up jammer in the front with two. And you love to see this. Ima's just going to keep playing offense here. We got two in the front. There's only three of us on the track. I'm going to believe in my defense to be able to hold down the fort at the top. I'm going to play offense in the center. Diamond's coming in off of the penalty box. The two blockers in the front get the run back. Offense continues to get played. Diva out at the top. BDC able to recover. And, in this moment, Riptide not really able to take advantage of it as well. Diva on a scoring pass. Oof. Really nice hit out here at the top from Diamond. Generates a ton of speed here. Yeah, if you were to look at this still between this blocker and this jammer and you ask me who's going to win this battle, I'm going to say the jammer is going to win this battle. But Diamond's able to generate a ton of speed, a ton of torque here to get this hit out. Probably a forearm, if I'm being honest, with the finish. But I don't think it gets called. Still a really good play. Gets the drawback all the way back to keep this jam going long and keep the points flowing. Diva still on the first scoring pass after a minute. I'm a Boblaya. I think she lost a wheel here. Diva going to get a cut, I think, here. Yeah, steps out just briefly there for a second. Unfortunately. Time is off on a skate malfunction. Diva's in the box. BDC is just locking it down. Do whatever they can. Good recycle here. Decides to let Maldita go. Going to get one scoring pass. I think Diva's going to get out of the box. This is tough. I mean, you have 7 seconds left. You're trying to score points. Really, this goes back to what I was saying earlier about turning your hips. Like, you want to continue to move your wheels forward when you're on scoring passes. You want to get through the pack. You only have one blocker to beat here. You can't turn your hips because you have to make another move now to get up the track. And you just don't have any acceleration, and you don't have any lateral movement here if you turn your hips. You want to dig in with your hockey stop, drive back towards the center of the track. I mean, you just completely negate your scoring opportunity there. Now, I know it's 2 minutes of jamming. I'm being critical on a jammer after they've been jamming for 2 minutes. It's easy to watch the footage back and say, oh, you should have done this, but jam for 2 minutes against a wall like that and many recycles and see if your technique is as good as it should be. All right. We got a 4-4. I feel like it's been a while since we've had everybody on the track. Blackjack playing offense for BDC. Got some offense in the back for Riptide. Really nice offense, actually. Riptide really likes this. I thought we call it a bee in a bonnet, where you get your bee inside the bonnet here and you just sort of break it up. But actually, this is just inside line patient offense. James Farrell is going to just find a little penetration here in the center. And this is a really good read here on where to play offense. Being patient. Looking for you want to do this sometimes as offense. You're in position. You're going to wait and to see where the opportunity is. Oh, the opportunity is on the inside. Showtime's behind here. Hips are in front. Queen's the one you need to get off. Showtime does recycle up to the front here, but James Farrell able to go against the motion back towards the center of the track. Does take the outside. Probably should have just taken the inside here. Ends up going the long way. Still gets out anyway. Brad's going to the box on a multiplayer. Oh, actually, you know what? I think Troublemaker is able to grab lead here. So this little moment here, when James Farrell is coming out of the pack, because she takes this outside line, I know it's a little bit clogged here, but this movement's going this way. Trouble ends up just snagging lead jammer right there and able to call the jam off. BDC with a pack advantage.
Buttercup doing good
just
work.
Locking it down, Riptide finding the back. Just playing all D. Really good pick up on the offense here. Everybody sort of clustered together. Good vision. Got another slide on by from the outside here. Yeah, this is a situation where, um, the defense here just runs into the other defense. Choose to close down the offense. I think they've done this on purpose. They've moved towards the in to try to force the jammer towards the out. And this is, there's kind of a little bit of a chess battle here with where you're looking, where you're setting up your juke and stuff like that. They've moved to the in. They're trying to set up, close this lane off so that the jammer has to go this way. Forcing the jammer to go to a path where they're going to go makes it easier to pick up the jammer. And they do move towards the out, but they bump into the pack before they're able to get out there. So Iggy just has a nice clean juke here. Again, I don't, you want to pivot on your outside foot here and get up the track. There's nobody here to pick Iggy up on this. But you can imagine if right here there's a brace coming out, they're going to knock you out. If you just go to your outside foot and you juke into your edge, you're going to be a lot more stable. You're going to get up the track faster. Finding a big gap on the inside and getting all the way up to the top. Early on the call off here, I don't know if Iggy gets all the points or not. I think you have more time to work before getting the call off. BDC losing the review, it looks like. I can see the review dot flashing there. So I'm not sure what they were reviewing, but looks like they didn't win it. Everybody back on the track, though. Diva and Brickyard, both of them hitting. The pack holding strong on both sides. Everybody fighting through. Diva getting a little cheeky hit out there and a run back. BDC holding at the top. Again, this is another situation of Riptide losing the run back. So let's see how this happens. I think Dizzy is just too far out. I don't think Dizzy had position anyway. Actually, Dizzy is the one that got the hit out. But gets the forearm there. Really smart from Diva, realizing that the penalty was called and that she can come back in. Nice, finding a good pathway up the track there. Oh, really nice save from Bratz here. In a better position for Diva, but I think just a good hit. Good recycle. Good footwork there, staying in. Keeping the toes in. Knowing whether you're on the tape or not. Now we have a multiple scoring pass jam here against Brickyard. Riptide has 2 in the box. Diva with another shirt whip, staying in bounds. Blackjack really getting a piece of Brickyard there. First time they've really locked down Brickyard this way this entire game. Diva on another scoring pass. Dizzy gets the penalty there. Really good body position, pushing out there. Blackjack picking up something of her own. Showtime, really good recycle here on Brickyard. I think Brickyard's just a little bit tired at this point. Showtime with the one-on-one. Killed some time there. Diva with another scoring pass. Gonna call it. Riptide's got 2 in the box. BDC's got 1. Okay, so there's an official timeout. And another BDC blocker went to the box. Queen, I think there. I think that was the misconduct for hitting somebody into a down skater, I believe. So now it's going to be a 2-2 pack. Always a fun pack when it's only 4 blockers out there. Everybody decides to start on the top. I think this really benefits Jam Starella probably. Just a really fast jammer who does well with space. Poison, though, the one doing better off the start. Very physical at the top. James Sorella being caught, brought back, but does get out. People in and out of the box. BDC gets the 4 points. Usually those 2-2 jams go quickly, and that one was no different. Now we have a 4-3. BDC back into the back, like they were in the first half of the game. BDC's only 2 points down now. Brought it back from, I think, 26 or something like that at one point in time. 8 minutes left in the period. Trouble's just doing work slowly up the track here. Taking off one by one. Blackjack, little offense there. Coming back. Oh, Blackjack's getting called on another one. Not sure how many that is for her. Trouble out on the scoring pass, though. Showtime off on one. Little multiplayer. Is he taking the pass? Trouble going to come back. Probably want to kill every second you can here. Call it off. And, ooh, it looks like Izzy was able to snag 3. You definitely want to milk every second you can here, but definitely a little bit late on the call off. So it makes it a 1-point jam for BDC instead of a 4-point because of that late call off. Now they only have 2 on the track again, 2 blockers. Pretty far up here again. I think you want to be closer here. I think as a jammer, I love to see this space. It's Murda. It's blow by Murda with the one-on-one. Gonna hold that jammer as long as they can. I mean, 2 blockers here. I'm critical of the space, but they're able to make it work. Riptide getting the failure to reform the pack there because they're the skater in back. Murda holding it down. Iggy getting the pack, moving a little bit. Jack back out of the pack, getting some offense. If you're this jammer, you want to try to get them up there and try to keep Murda in play. You don't really want to be moving back here. You want to just keep the pressure forward. Let Blackjack take the top off. Oh. Good. The pass works there too. Calling a no pack here. It's hard to see from this angle. I guess it is a no pack. BDC wants to stay out in front. Looks like they give the destruction or maybe the fail. No, it can't be a failure to reform from the front. They get the destruction to BDC. It seemed like Riptide slowed it down to me, but all right, it's a 4-2 again. Riptide only getting 2 off of that big pack advantage. And interestingly enough, they have a big pack advantage here, and they're really trying to force the top. I guess it didn't work last time when the 2 in front and Murda was able to hold it down for so long. So maybe they thought this time they would try to participate more in the center. Seems to work. Brickyard able to get out. Riptide picks up Diva here. Diva gets the pass off to, I think that's Blaxel, yeah. It's a little bit early of a pass, I think. I mean, Blaxel's just on the outside, so Riptide's going to be able to recycle up here. And they already released 2 blockers just to pick up the pivot. So they're in position. Black's able to make it happen on the outside. Brickyard with an easy pass. BDC not really ever set up again for defense. They slowly work Blaxel to the out. Got to change our trajectory here. We're getting to that point in the track where you're going to run out of track. You're just not going to win this. Smarter Blaxel to know, though, that this is the last blocker here. The only blocker that hit me out that has position on me, and I don't have to come all the way back. I can just come in right here. So, does make it work out in the end. Brickyard coming around on another scoring pass. Riptide not as active of offense as they could have. Deciding to run it here. Probably seeing the pivot, thinking that they have the advantage, but not able to really take advantage of it. If you're going to run it, you have to be tight here. You have to make sure primarily that you catch this jammer. And, you see all this movement. You see all this movement right here. And then 20 feet up the pack without anybody engaging you. You can't really move yourself out of position like that. I mean, you've taken yourself out of play. BDC locking it down. Force the call off. Unfortunately, I think Blaxel gets a penalty here. 5 minutes left. 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Riptide's got a power jam. They just got 10 points on that jam. They're up by 12. Yeah, it looks like Blaxel only got 1 point for that. I'm not sure how that's possible considering the forearm came at the top of the pack and there were only 2 people up there, so they couldn't possibly have only gotten 1 point unless the forearm happened earlier. Zora on the power jam. Interesting choice, Zora, at this point in the game. But, they have a 4-jammer rotation. Brickyard just came off. Who knows how the other jammers are feeling. They have the advantage right now, so. Unfortunately, it gets the multiplayer block there. Yeah, probably taking a whip off of the blocker there. Oof, I don't know. I don't know the impact on that, if it really made a difference or not, to be honest, but I'm not right there looking at it up close from the other angle, so. So Blacks will get another shot at it. Just immediately getting called on the cut. I know you're feeling the urgency when there's not much time left in this game and you want to try to make it happen, but You just got to do a little bit more work here. Be patient. Stepping out, stepping back in. Unfortunately, not yielding. Called it pretty fast, but I think it's still a legitimate call. So Zora's getting right back out. The good thing is, I think Blacksoul will get out pretty quick based on the jammer times, but maybe not. Yep, now Blacksoul's released, so a minute in, 0-0 jam. We've lost a minute off the clock if you're BDC right now. I mean, you're thankful that Blacksoul's getting out of the box here, but every second that goes by is benefiting Riptide. Blacksoul getting recycled all the way back. 20 seconds left. If you're the pivot jammer here, you just got to make sure that you go back to the bench. It might be better to do absolutely nothing here than to try to actually get out with 15 seconds left. Just lean on them. Yeah. Blacksoul's just going to take a step back and make sure they don't get another penalty. Get this jam called off. You've lost the time. Billy immediately calling the timeout here. 2 minutes, 36 seconds. You're up, or you're down by 12. You definitely need to call the timeout. You're hoping you can get a jam off, score 4, get it called off before the 2-minute mark so you can call another one. Would love to hear what the conversations were like in the huddles between the timeouts. You got to know what situation you're in here if you're here with Riptide or BDC. Understanding what to do if you're lead. If you're Riptide and you're up by 12, you get lead here, you're probably going to run this jam long no matter what and try to, every time you get a scoring pass, you match points, it benefits you. If you're BDC, I mean, you got to get lead here. So think about the play call. They do a 3-1. Brickyard able to get all the way to the outside. This is a really interesting play because you have the defense from BDC over here. Hard to see the defense, but the triangle here for Riptide's there. Blackjack is actually assigned to play offense here. So steps back to play offense. Brickyard is going to come up the outside. Blackjack sees it, switches from offense to defense, picks up Brickyard here. There's a switch on the other side. I mean, this could be, if this is an intended play and that they've written it like this is such an incredible play call. I think it probably happens naturally with the way everyone's lined up and everything. But if this is a play call and they ran this intentionally, this is an amazing play. Having Blackjack. I mean, Blackjack's been playing offense a lot in this game. If they have her intentionally switch to defense here, and then they have these defenders that look like they're playing defense come up and play offense, that's an incredible play. Either way, it's an incredible play. We're looking at the clock there, knowing what's going on. Brickyard's going to get out. And now you have, as a coach here, you have a choice to make. What are we going to do in this situation? Now, if you immediately get out, then you think maybe we run this. So, interesting enough, like Billy isn't signaling ahead of time that they're going to run this jam. I think this is what the hand signal is here. So everyone knows we're running it. If you're Riptide here, you really, really got to catch the jammer here. You want to be set up and stopped. It's harder to move laterally and pick up the jammer. You can't, you literally can't pick up the jammer and move them and push them out of bounds while you're moving backwards. So, I know you're feeling the pressure from the offense here, but you need to set up. You need to be you have this help on top to fill in the hole from the offense on the inside. These two defenders need to set up and prepare to catch the jammer. It's really hard to catch the jammer when you're rolling backwards. Really good move by Diva here. Does move all the way to their toe stops. Able to get all the way through anyway. Gets up the track. They decide to run it. And then, if your Showtime's going to the box on a multiplayer, unfortunately. And if you're Brickyard here again, you know, in these moments when these games are tight and you're feeling the urgency, you have to try to pull yourself back and make really rational cognitive decisions. You got a lot of movement on the outside here. Try to force the inside, get recycled. Interestingly enough, a couple of these blockers from BDC, Queen and Perfect, I believe, experienced the loss on the other side with Angel City the weekend before this. Okay, so it was 7-4 jam. So they ran the jam long. It didn't really pay off. They could have gotten 4, called it, and had a 4-0 jam and had more time on the clock. So that call didn't really pay off. They also didn't call a timeout. They let the time tick down. That's because they only have one timeout left, and they know they can let the 30 seconds run out, and they can still call a timeout at the end of this jam if they need it. They're down by 9. They have one blocker in the box. Showtime is standing. She's getting ready to go back out there, and we'll see how they finish off this game. We got Troublemaker out there as the jammer. Hard to say who the jammers are that are, you want to pick the jammer who is on fire in this game or being the most productive or the most consistent, and it's hard in these heavy defensive games to know who it is to put out there in some of these situations. Troublemaker caught back in the back. BDC, they're spread out. They know they have to get lead here. Murda's into the box on a back block, trying to play offense. Troublemaker's moving back and forth. I mean, they're down by 9. 30 seconds in. No movement. Riptide's just locking it down. They're about to get lead in the front. Pack is back. You got Showtime and Amablobai up there just locking it down. These blockers. I mean, look at in this situation, they have this bridge here. This bridge is long too. I think it's a little bit generous of a bridge. Murder's going to go off the track, so that causes the no pack. In this situation, you have a no pack. You're bridged out all this way. Riptide immediately reforms the pack. This 100% of the time should go to Riptide. Riptide should win this moment. You're looking at this. You're down by 9. It's not looking good for you at this point. But Showtime and I'm going to blow by you. They're able to get it done, And all of the movement, all the progress that you make as the jammer in the back here, it really helps out your defense. All the track. Able to get in front there, force a recycle. Troublemaker deserves a lot of credit here because now you have a situation where, you're in this tripod, but you're a lot closer. Buttercup's able to join the tripod here even because we've pushed up so far. Now we're kind of at a stalemate. Troublemaker trying to make it happen. Almost gets the cut there. Seeds in the end. Again, you're all the way back here. Zora is so close to the top. Hard to see what's happening with the run back. This is another... Another situation where Riptide is trying to get the run back. Troublemaker, you have Dizzy go all the way back. I don't know. I wish I could see what happens here. Dizzy gets the hit out, draws back, but I think goes out of play. Maybe. Yeah, they call the pack up. I'm not sure. Anyway, whatever happens back here, Troublemaker ends up getting position on Izzy, and now is in a 2-on-1 situation. Izzy scrambling to get back up there. Troublemaker makes a move on the inside line, and once again in this game, Riptide, by running people back so far and getting themselves out of position, they gave the Jammer an opportunity, and now BDC has a lead in this game. Again, you have 3 scoring passes in order to win this game. 3 scoring passes. You have a minute left in this jam. Zora just got out. 30 seconds left in the period. You're going to get your timeout called if you can. They call the jam off. 0-0 jam. Okay, BDC is going to use their official review as a timeout. 0-0 jam. That's heartbreaking. All the clock's gone. If you're Riptide, you're feeling pretty confident right now. You've got Brickyard out there. You've got all 4 of your blockers. BDC needs 3 scoring passes to win. Riptide starting with their offense in the pack. Driving forward. Brickyard immediately gets dumped on the inside. I think Diva's the right call here. I would say Diva's probably the most successful jammer. Brickyard doing work, breaking it down, but Diva able to find this inside line here in the mess. Out and back in. Really, really clever movement here from Diva. Out, back in, and then plants on the inside foot, or excuse me, on the outside foot, and then shoots up the track. Big jump up the track. Risky, pays off there. I mean, usually this shouldn't work against multiple layers of defense, but just some blockers out of position. Unfortunately for them, Diva able to get out. And if you're Riptide, you're still feeling pretty good about this. You have a long jam, but lots of opportunity to stay in this game. Brickyard gets right out. So now, that basically negates the first scoring pass by BDC because Brickyard's going to match points. Really good job here from BDC. Splitting the blockers, keeping the goat in the back. Bratz went to the box on a multiplayer. Diva, really nice hit here. Murda picking up one blocker and then slowing the pack down. Diva getting a good hit, breaking through. And Brickyard's coming around on her first scoring pass. And hard to see what happens here. Brickyard does get hit to the inside. All the way over from Imababaya. A little bit of a form, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a push, but I think maybe Murda picks it up at the top anyway. I think Murda actually got the hit out. Diva coming around. Second scoring pass. Brickyard still on the first scoring pass. Good move by Diva. Again on the outside and then in, keeping the movement going. Blackjack just destroying Izzy there. Helping her back up, though. They know each other. Diva's on her second scoring pass. That's 8-0 for Brickyard. Bratz is still in the box. Now Izzy's in the box on a cut. Really, 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 really hard blocker cut here. I'm not sure why Izzy just comes back in front of Blackjack there. Really bad mental error. And, those kind of penalties can cost you the game. Bratz back on the back, but really not able to get anything back together. Brickyard recycled. Doken picking up a forearm there too, so was not even able to be a part of the defense. Just gets off the track, so Diva gets a quick pass. Now it's 12-9 or 112 to 109, and in this situation, really smart play for BDC to understand that Brickyard has 4 points right now. They're down by 3. They have to score at least 2 points in order to win this game. Really smart to not call it off. Yeah, they're saying, see, they're telling you love this communication. Diva's looking at, you can't see Diva right here, but Diva's looking at the bench, and they're all saying, you need 4 points. You need 4 points. You need 4 points. 4 points. One pass, get 4 points. That's good. Really, in these situations as jammers, you have to make sure that you're not calling it off too early. So I think Diva got all the points in that apex jump, but probably a little bit too risky to call it off. Really nice there by Brickyard picking up the hit out. They're going to call it here. Risky move. I mean, I guess you probably know, if you're the jammer coming in here, that there's only 2 blockers. You got 1, you got 2. If you pass 1, you get enough points. You know you got those 2. The jammer's the one that hits you out. Call it off. And that ends up being the end of the game, and pretty incredible ending. I mean, 16 points is the most points that they score in any jam in this game, and they scored at the end. Coming back, pretty ridiculous end of the game. Now, it was close the entire time. It went back and forth the entire time. There were many moments throughout the game that could have gone either way, and in the end, Black Derby Collective was just able to get it done. Really smart play. Really like to be able to be in on those huddles and the timeouts when they're talking, and they're talking about what to expect next. You really have to set up your team for success and help them understand the situation so that everybody's on the same page. I mean, these are all experienced players. They're going to know what needs to happen, but you have the discussion together and say, these are the scenarios that could happen. If you get lead, you're not calling it off until this. We're running it long. So blockers, make sure that that you're locking it down, that you're playing defense first, and you just go through all the scenarios with everybody on the track, so everybody, it's fresh in their head what should be going on. Because after a long game like this, blockers they're going on, they're going off, they're this jam, that jam. It's really the captains, the coaches, the leadership to try to dial it in there and make sure everybody's on the same page. So I'd really like to be a part of those conversations to hear how that went. But in the end, they pulled it off. An incredible game, regardless of the ending. The ending's insane. But even besides that, really fun game to watch throughout the whole game. So congratulations to Black Derby Collective, and congratulations to Riptide too. They had a great weekend, great tournament, and they're going to champs as well. And I'm really excited to see how much these teams improve between now and them, and how they do at champs. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you. Until next time, take it easy.